This is a CBC podcast.
Greater Moncton Progress Club's annual Antler Breakfast is going ahead in a pandemic-compliant format on Friday, November the 26th. For many people, the annual fundraiser for local child and youth organizations marks the unofficial kickoff to the Christmas season. Robert Gallant is a Progress Club member and one of the event organizers, and we've reached him this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. All right, so talk us through it, Robert. How will the Antler Breakfast work this year?
Well, we're going to be similar to last year. Last year, we had a major shift on our hands, and we ended up working with a lot of restaurant partners in town just because we simply couldn't get everybody into the Delta Ballroom like we normally do downtown at the hotel. Obviously, technically, legally, we could this year, but I think there's still a lot of hesitancy to get together in that size of a group, and so we reached back out to our restaurant partners, and we're back out at 10 different restaurants around town who are helping us make sure that we can still pull off this great Christmas event and fundraiser. In fact, last year, despite all odds, we raised the most money than we ever have at this breakfast for our local children's charities, so we're quite happy.
How much money did you raise last year?
I think we cleared right around $50,000 that we were able to give out to charities this year. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
So does each restaurant offer something different on their menu?
No, so it's the same Antler breakfast that you would get downtown. We have a lot of great food partners who sponsor the food for us. So we split that up amongst all the restaurants. We know restaurants have been having a really rough go over this pandemic as well too. So it is a win-win-win for the community. We get to raise money. Each of the tickets, a little bit of the money goes to the restaurants to help pay their staff and help cover costs, and it works out really well thanks to our food sponsors and our other sponsors that make it possible.
Still, it must take a lot of planning and coordinating.
Yeah, we've got a committee. I mean, the club, we're a small club. There's only about 26 of us, I believe, and I think the committee is made up of 12 of us. And it's a lot of moving parts, but everybody has their little piece that they do, and we make a well-oiled team.
So talk about the groups and organizations that benefit from this fundraiser, Robert.
Yeah, we've been, it's interesting this past year, we hadn't reached out in a while. We actually did a bit of a community assessment to kind of see where some of the biggest needs are. And we were able to help out a lot of charities. So, of course, some of our regulars, we're always connected with Moncton Head Start, but we also helped out at the Moncton Boys and Girls Club with their learning program. We focused on balancing our portfolio, so looking at, body, mind, and spirit. So we were looking also at, we helped out with Big Brothers and Atlantic Wellness Center so that we can help with the mental health side of what's going on. Beaverbrook School with food and different things that they need in there. So a really big, wide variety. Of course, our usuals, unfortunately, we won't be able to have in the Pedway this year, but the kids at the pediatric units in both Moncton and the Dumont hospitals that we always take care of. We still will be providing them with Christmas gifts and some special stuff over the holidays, but unfortunately we can't bring them down to the Pedway.
But given COVID restrictions, I mean, it's provided lots of challenges for everyone in terms of fundraising. So I imagine these organizations really need your help this year. Yeah,
we've heard stories from a lot of them who, in some cases, some of the bigger charities that do huge work in our communities, they're staring down the barrel of, $100,000, $200,000 less than they normally bring in.
Wow.
So every little bit of dollars that we can bring in to help them makes a big difference. And that's why we love the Antler Breakfast. When I was talking about the food being donated, et cetera, we probably only have a 10 or 15% admin cost on this. Most events, like if you run a golf tournament, it's probably 50% goes to the golf course, and then, which is fine. I mean, everybody's got to make money, but just in terms of like how far your dollar goes with the Antler Breakfast, for all the different events I've worked on, this one spreads your dollar directly to the charity so much stronger than a lot of the other events that we're able to do.
Yeah. So how can people get tickets?
So if you go to antlerbreakfast.com, you'll see all the details there. There's 10 different venues to pick from. Some of them have 2 or 3 different times you can select as well. So you're going to sit in your bubble table. There's seats of 2, 4, 6, 8, up to 10, depending on the venue. You just pick the group size that you want to go with, and you buy your tickets and your time, and we'll greet you there.
Okay. And just good to remind people of the requirements for showing their vaccination certificates.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah, because it's all just like any restaurant. You've got to show your proof of vaccination, wear your mask in until you're seated, all the regular COVID safety protocols. And one thing I forgot to mention too, that on the back of every ticket we have there's a free Wildcat ticket as well too. So they've come back as a supporter of us. So you go to a breakfast, you also get a free ticket to a Wildcat game. So always a great deal.
Awesome. All right. So do you have a goal in mind for this year? I'm sure you'd like to top last year.
It's a new chair this year, so he's working hard to beat last year's chair's total. Hopefully we'll be at $51,000.
Every little bit makes a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, best of luck with everything, Robert, and thanks for taking our call this morning.
Thank you so much for your time.
Bye. Robert Glad is a Progress Club member and one of the event organizers of the Antler Breakfast, taking place on Friday, November the 26th. Get tickets online at antlerbreakfast.com.
For more CBC podcasts, go to cbc.ca/podcasts.